you feel it? It's the brisk wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another World Eater. You're halfway there. He's got word out of date spotted Lupa Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it. Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the Predator. Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Lupa Lupin will stay put until you're there. Got word you found the greatest glider of all, an Ark. Can't imagine how that would feel. Funny that you found an Ark when you don't need to go anywhere in it. The world's still going to be here. Proud of you for thinking about helping before escaping, either way.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat open on the Ark should you want to offer it as a gesture of appreciation.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
Feels thrilled to snag a seat in your Ark. Can't wait to glide through the skies. Goop knows he's repeating himself, but can't help talking to you. Understand? Good thing you're not claustrophobic.
To why?
Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past.
Atu awa ya ia.
Lupa Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there.
Atu awa ya ia.
Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry.
Setuata papkila. Atu awa ya ia.
He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains.
Tu wavu. Loma tuaha.
Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there.
Momombusu?
He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror.
Mauketo tolu ayadre yuba tolu waiwai.
You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules.
Kuchai hifar befarb.
He's happy to help.
Bubu tubuko.
Didn't have much help. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupa Lupin's camp. Lupa Lupin says he's been looking for you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different. A hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupa Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last.
Just so no.
That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry.
Just so
But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. The night feels dangerous and exciting.
Ko bubuya buka nuka nuburak.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Beboko kontabe. To huaye. Tai miss.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east.
Lua tolu tum. Kuzata ghetto.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko.
Kuzata ghetto. Koyetu koreboy.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped.
Tolidrea ya maoloa.
Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Mauketo tolu ayadre. Befarbihita hun tukub kirko.
He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared.
Kujai. Ifar befarb.
Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Wumbubu dubuko.
He's happy to help.
Nuekek ujbar nubarke.
There's a lot on the line. Let's see. This must be Bionucleus 7H. Better be careful. The contamination here, this area is biocontaminated. It's really... That's a classic radionic. A frequencer box that resonates airwave signals. Back then it was easy listening. Hope it still is. Looks like the radionic controls need just a few moves left. Make them count. Let's hope the beast keeps listening to you. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? Looks like the control box handles need to be wheeled to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. Makes you look smarter. This is locked. That's not opening on its own. At least you're not coming out of this empty-handed. Want to got to time it right to make them work. Left, right, left, right. Pumping good, looking better. The sun is high. Stuck with... Small things for your big ideas. That's a motored blind box dispenser. These auto markets were quite... You shouldn't be surprised if you stumble on more of these. It's an electro panel, a closed... Flick the switches in order to green-light the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. How majestical! This region is known as the Canuckstones. You can't find a harder place in the world. Ah, the Gnote Pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see.
Puri kumbala muma. Kala.
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Amun. Andro?
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Vaseno kasaman varut.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Masan mal.
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Dropalo. Masan mal.
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey.
Very? Dere?
Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be.
Kanamunt. Dropalo. Kanyala no doro.
She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least.
Apli tonumuta, kamonu.
She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Asana yotpa, polakudo, kamonu.
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you...
Kanamunta, polakudo.
She wants Lupa Lupin to pay too, even though she strongly believes forgiveness is the strongest revenge.
Now you're getting into the dark groove.
That's not a groove, it's a rut.
And what's wrong with ruts? I love ruts.
Groove, rut, whatever. You can still escape it.
Escape it? No way. Enjoy it.
Inyadaldo, masamal.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Masamal.
You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can.
Asadurutu, monidasa.
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it.
Ritsentede, brumble marsamon.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Ala.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes
Beri, ferena masalapu.
they're just so shiny. Makes her smile to think about them.
Beri,
But let's not speak of that now.
urasa durut.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Anora kapapum. Taifanamenuma, kanamunta.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Deret,
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
deret.
She can't be sure. You'll have to wait and see. This could be the beginning of the end of everything. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Vaulted. Oh, yes. Half left. shockingly dark out there. Ah, that wood scrap seems like it would be perfect for your plans. You always find good use for things like that.
Apli tonumuta. Taifaname numa.
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned.
Andro?
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Kanamunta. Pendrene senema.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Kanamunta. Pala. Kala.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Pala. Kala. Polakudo.
She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though.
Minalagi mamuru.
Noko is always willing to help.
Kanyala no toro.
Says... Your key energy is all used up. What a relief. You're fading. Don't forget the past. Learn from it. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. Just a few moves left. Make them count. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is.
Sanna jote. Monidasa.
With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned.
Sanna jote. Ritsentede. Minalagi mamuru.
She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got.
Puri kumbala muma.
The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world Mecha-Majut.
Anora kapapom. Puri kumbala muma.
If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away.
Kialduma le canoto. Pialtuma.
Seems the old world had plenty to offer, and all in one place for those obsessed with material things. Almost too much, if you ask her. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. Mush mush. The Smilo Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. Shocking. Neutralized. Knock it all around. Eye boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked a message. That's not opening on its own. Disgusting. Biohazard. Just gross. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. How far underground do you think you are? Now hold on, sit tight. Isn't that the Mechamajut over there? You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the Mechamajut. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco. Don't know what that e-waste was. Yuck! That there's a sludge gush field where the company used to suck sludge from the underground. Now it's all over. Running low. Good ridey beast. No hurty. That's Knuckle Down. It's got an upgrade bench in that little blimp up there. Let's see. Asks you to check out the web. Stash for your trash. Ka-ching! Sharp dealing.
Tuhati oi. Vofrikin.
Well spent. If the mount didn't throw you, you're good. Check out that motor juice station. Wonder if there's any go juice left in the juice lounge. It's starting to add. Carving it up. Ready to dive back in. Strong enough. Ooh, there's some rubber scrap for you. Heroes inspire in a way nothing else can. Finders keepers. They used to call this a thoroughfare. Look at all those old homes. Personal. A smart foe would leave now. It's time for an adventure, for good or bad. Finding things both here and there. You need to unturn the pipe tighteners to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. Look! A spiral groover from the long ago. An apparatus that plays melodiscs. Wouldn't be surprised if it still works. Take a moment to absorb the day. So much damage. More than a flesh wound. There's the Sovereign who runs this outpost.
Libuma, Limana, Kulimaite Zuma,
He didn't expect his outpost to be invaded, but now that you're
Taduta.
there's no way he'll surrender just because of threat.
Libuma, Limana, Yo Daldalit.
He can recognize the strength of a good argument and agrees it's for... The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. He says you did a great job capturing the outpost. Says you didn't have much of a choice. Daytime is a good time to be outside. Sometimes your mind creates an illusion where it's possible to go back in time to relive a moment in your life. We all have things in our past we wish hadn't happened, and can come to remember seeing and doing things that never happened. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. Choose the automaton functionality you want to recall. I was wondering when you'd recall how to spring the automaton air gliders. This thing has a mind of its own. The Quirk-Quab outpost. The Netra tribe first beat this into shape. Let's see.
Pelala. Olamol.
Says they've been...
Yayal mama. Uliti.
There is a high boom team ready to help with take...
Legenyuma malebo.
Seems...
La uito mayokol kol male.
Get up there and get fixing. Just a few moves left. Make them count. This won't be a field trip. It's the real thing. Like walking down a trail. Right where it cuts. Smooth. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wired up and ready to go. Clothes make you look unnaked. Great capper. Don't look down. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Light is the best, period. Seems like the controls need some organizing to set the mechanism in motion. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Excellent. That's illuminating. You did what needed to be done. Just a few moves left. Make them count. All fixed up. The arc shooters are already gearing up the high booms. Hope their aimers are fixed too. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. He says you did a great job. Says you didn't have much of a choice. The rain is clean now, but wait till it gets to the goo. That's an old home, or what's left of it. You need to give the tensioners on the machine head a matching adjustment to get the twing-twang in tune. That sounds delicious. You're full of plum. Rubber scrap is too much fun, so stretchy. The stars never give enough light. The Rockoblock outpost, one of the places the Netra tribe smashed together. Let's see.
Jag förstår Mario. Libuma, limna majenale.
Freedom is not worth having in a world that's doomed. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. That hit the spot, wrecked it. barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it. Then... That looks slowly. Shoot it and watch it glow. Not too close, though. Oh, boom. You're in. Keep going. Here's the second line of defense. Smoldering already. Give it a good smack. Give it a good smack. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. Thinks you did a great job capturing the right. They all hope you can lead. Nighttime is the better time for lots of things.
Talitina nupsun tabab.
Shop sharp. Nice not to have that around anymore. You got the best of...
Tabab. Yel Ua.
Fair trade. Nothing's going to waste. You fall a bit short when it comes to resources. Sure useful. It's make your own scrap day. Don't trip over what you can't see. Let's see. Heads up, that's Peak Spot, a great place to watch the world from. Who knows who might be watching you?
can't Galafonday.
They've been waiting for you. Taking control of this fort will bring peace.
Vale, bueno, papa. La fanen a Ginkanman.
You better be. A tribe's fort is a bigger challenge than an outpost.
Mus.
The plan is to fling you over the wall with a...
Can boof.
It's better you go and find one for yourself. It can't... The world needs saving. Make the most of the day. That's something. A ring dinger from the yesterdays. A thingamabob used to pling signal the far off. Let's find out if it still works. Making great progress. You're not bad. Hold on fast. Super effective. One hand after the other. Seems the keys need to be in sequence to make the ring-dinger work. Just a few moves left. Make them count. So, the technology from yesterdays is still here today, even if its message is getting old. Go make the most of the day. It's time to do what's right. For certain values of right.
Gala wala click mus.
It's time to set the rival tribe free.
Gala one thing.
You need to unite the tribes and... That's a fire starter. The dry grass looks like it would ignite easily. You just need to create a spark to light a fire. It burns brighter than the light. Now that's a flesh wound. This might be the end of everything as we know it. Up for grabs. The battering bonker looks like a great way to get through the gate. Bet you just need to knock and it'll open up. That's bonkers. The Netra tribe values liberty and is striving to protect freedom. They want to continue with each tribe being responsible for their own and believe that uniting tribes is the only way you can survive. He was hoping it wouldn't end this way. There's no reason to fight instead of uniting. It would be fighting over nothing. He'll fight for what matters. Today, he'll fight you. But tomorrow, he hopes to fight by your side. The rival Sifu is defeated, and the destiny of their tribe is in your hands. You are free to choose their fate, but not free from the consequences of your choice. And with that, you're spinning your own fate, good or bad, never to be undone. Step by step, until all have given up their rights for the good of others. He's gotten news that the other tribes have realized there are no winners in this war. There's no purpose in antagonism. All three of them believe your tribe has grown strong enough to unite them. It's clear your efforts have been successful. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So, do you want to end the war now or continue the crusade? He agrees. Better save your energy for something meaningful. The Netra Fortress. Tread carefully here. It's the Netra Claw Chain. How majestical.
Durmanıza. Alo amizak öbe.
Let's see.
Andro, monibasa, urasa durut.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of Bon Gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride.
Puri kumbala muma, aria roche nui mumera.
Nocco's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the Hoof Puff when you confront it.
Monibasa.
You'll find Mito at Brightlight. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths.
Kamonu, taifanana numa.
She's noticed the front teeth seem to be a little loose, so you might be able to pull them out with the pull hook. Give it a little pat. Go on.
Zykantum.
This place is called Brightlight. Mito lives close by.
Kamultotum.
With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that.
Tasompo.
Says there's so much darkness to deal with. Rather than curse it, he makes lamps to fight it.
Donko boykin. Kantiko tombo.
You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad.
Dalfatundo pontoja.
No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past brightlights the present.
Tutozinkatimbo. Tisinto.
Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine?
Joko.
Figures that doesn't matter. You can't help but shine either way.
Dalfa okangum.
So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world.
Zai Gandum.
Claims he wasn't trying to sell you anything. Now,
Kaikika Kokung.
says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies.
Munkine. Bom.
He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days.
Pointu tosi katimbo. Baru baru.
There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So, why not call him Me Too?
Zai Gandum.
He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right.
Taikatapa.
Says it's pronounced that way, but spelt different. But he feels that connection with you.
Joko. Tesindo. Tiba.
He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow.
Yonko.
Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end.
Dalfa.
Figures you should do it if you want to become as enlightened as him. Don't distract this beastie. It's working. Glad to see some wood scrap there. Scrapalicious. That hurt him. Every day is a new chance to fulfill your destiny. Glittermoth Cave is right here. Wonder what you could make with that. meet.
Tundo pontoja contigo tumbo.
His goal in this dying world is to be like a flame fly, burning to light the way for others, and therefore he still makes lamps.
Muinkine tesindo.
You look like you're in need of a special get-through-the-night lamp, but to make something like that, he'd need a flame fly.
Okangung. Tundo pontoja.
Says that's the kind of attitude that spreads light everywhere.
Right. We need something else here. Maybe a little less light?
You'd really root for rain to ruin a day like today?
As long as it ruins your day.
Ha! You can do that just fine without any clouds.
Let's see.
Ignava aldo.
That's enough glitter moths to make her plan work.
Beri?
She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater.
Anora kapapom. Asama yorpa.
The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time.
Monindasa.
She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains.
Asadurutu. Andro?
So, based on that alone, she reckons it has suffered as much damage as the northwest root that's hidden beneath the surf.
Tropalo.
Everything in nature is dual, and so is evolution as it struggles to find balance in creation. She wonders what could be more beautiful than imperfection. Let's see. Too bad you don't have working wings. A motor juice station. Guess they filled up motors with go juice here. Flash, slash. Middle lifed. Hurts less now. History is nothing but a series of stories.
Galavoda.
That sealed the fate of the third World Eater. Just one more to go.
Kan boof. Horote nat.
Out of Date asked to see you again to congratulate you and let you in on the final phases of his plan.
Vladetik Brita.
This is your chance to get his priorities aligned with yours. Do right by your tribe and the world at large.
Volop Marati. Kan boof.
Just head back to the Ark. He seemed eager to see you again.
Taifanamen, Uma.
She wonders if the rumors she's heard about you finding the Ark are true.
Sadurutu. Ferena Masalapo.
Thinks that's impossible, of course, but she also knows you regularly make the impossible happen.
Andro?
Loves this.
Kamonu.
Any idea who might be joining you on your Arky journeys?
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat open on the Ark should you want...
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
Ora Sadurut.
Feels deeply honored that you'd want her to come with you. An Ark is no ganote, but she can't pass this up. She's coming aboard.
Brumble Marsamambunundu.
Noko knows she's known for saying things over again.
Kialdo Male Canoto.
You need to believe how serious this is if you want to have any effect on it. The Yerp Fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. Even healthier than before.
Miss Satuatan Pop Kila.
Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
Billia Antuf.
The last World Eater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war.
Nuekek Ujbar no barke.
He thought someone with your light perspective and key would have had different priorities and faced the World Eaters before resolving the tribe war.
Tamuk Gabamuktab Bubuko von Junvun.
Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over.
Lotulu Bayo.
Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough.
Ya Yumawa Le Yayato.
You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last World Eater.
Mauketo Tul Atu Yamanao.
The future depends on someone with a light perspective to give the world a chance to survive.
Ya Sawata Muwa.
Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to the end.
Ayamuaya.
Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet.
Ya Sawata Muwa. Mauya.
He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately, he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest.
Mpa. Wherefore. Where?
He's unsure about your intentions, but hopes you'll support Wiz.
Momombusu?
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out-of-Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next.
Fofo umbak bakwa papamu.
Out-of-Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Oloi bo bopaweg.
He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done.
Weta gono koyetu koreboy.
Out-of-Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Weta gono
He's happy to help.
koyetu koreboy.
Seems like your mount likes you well enough. Old brick-bracks like that, sometimes still full of good things. That's a good sign. Small's Mart is a favorite thingamajig broker. Let's see.
Annoya, Yodo, Anavadakati.
Let's see. You're still aboard your mount, which is probably a good sign. You've discovered Fanaki leaves, the densest jungle in the land. Better get hacking. The Moly Hole outpost, an old Pichu tribe hole in the wall. Supposedly, mounts like that can smell fear. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go. But says it... He set up camp at the foot of the Tree of Life. It's gotten more difficult for it to find defenseless prey, as it's already eaten most of them. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever. But you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in... He feels you've deserved revenge because of how you were wronged. You've suffered enough to make him pay.
Oh, yes. That is deliciously dark of you.
No, you need less dark, no more!
Yes, the dark is as easy as cake. Dark, dark cake.
Spit it out, please! That's awful!
Awfully good, you mean?
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Thinks that kind of diversity brings strength. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths. But there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-go in.
alikan rato mikakumva botoveganan tövlinverai.
He can't leave the Surge Station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up Mecha Fingro in the Mecha Stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister.
Inshallah, venture aleke, trimbus chu. Non antica urvaya unara.
It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Better get him. Look at the notices on that board. No one paid much attention to them, it looks like. Wiz should be around here somewhere, probably taking care of his guppos. A Surge Surf factory was one of the cleaner ways to make power, until the surf turned into goo and clogged it all up, that is. The power comes from turning the movement of the surf into surge sparks. Sometimes science is beyond belief. Impressed you found that, despite all the goo. This place has held power for a long time. In many ways, it still does. That would require cleaning up all the goo. Glad you found that track. There's a lot to learn about this world, both here and beyond. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. This could be the beginning of the end of everything. This land has never known winter. An old home could be something to it. It's the Hut Hut. Wonder if there's anything still inside. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. Personal. Good for whatever ails you. This is turning out to be quite an expedition. Lockety locked. That's not opening on its own. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Such a bright day to wander around in. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick.
Unchola Fenja Aleke, Zumzumbav, Galay Avantun.
Well, he means slick, as in greasy, so you can lube the hinges of the lid. He can't argue against the fact your fur's shiny.
Non Antica Urvaya Unara.
He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out.
Ambatia Bomba, Zumzumbav, Para.
He knows his old friend Choo Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow.
Iruvante Vakaran. Velir Nila Chale.
Wants you to think of it as a black tar spritzer. The dead zone is full of that slimy black goo. It's good for fuel, but it's also slippy stuff. Much harder to see outside now. Slash. That's a Puttiappa Plaza. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo Choo here.
Basata Guntapa.
Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Down the wire. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. Might turn a blade or two. Keeps the sun out of your eyes. You're here for... Choo Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him.
주조.
Claims rails are like rules. If you follow them the way you're supposed to, everything good in life can roll your way.
뭐이건 똑바서부터 주주주. 어까지 뭐 도시니까.
Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track, or look for a way to hit that switch?
소도그도다.
You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path.
노 가사바 뭐이건 똑바서부터 주주주.
Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them, and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be.
그림부터서 봐. 말람 바사도 건도봐. 거시다봐.
Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on?
뭐도 주주.
Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse.
말라라고도.
Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again.
빠빠지스바.
Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around.
빠빠지스바.
But let's not get derailed.
볼에 바깥 말라. 거시다봐.
Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out. But sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station.
거사.
As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo Choo.
거야봐. 말아말로.
He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation.
거시다봐. 그림부터서 봐.
Thinks that's fine, but there's no path in this world that's not been already made.
뭐이건 똑바서부터 주주주.
This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track.
주주주. 가도 반박주도.
Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him.
거시다봐. 어이.
Says you're just like he used to be, a one-track mind, but going the right way.
Getting brighter every time.
Yes, that glare is so annoying.
You're annoying.
That's the best you've got. Oh, just snuff yourself on your way out.
Now that's dark.
You need to swivel the Globus's bearings to get the Atlas mapper to work. Let's see. Getting dimmer by the minute. The Wingnut Chug Hunt. It goes on forever.